Oh, hella beard, it's your boy Big Beard B, and we back for another edition of Big Beard Business. Today we're here with a subscriber's choice video. I got hit up on Snapchat, and my guy D Benfords was like, "Yo, B, I need a video." And I'm like, "What you need, Doug? What you need?" And the video he was talking about was one that I thought could work on the channel, so I decided to bring it on. And this one was 5 fragrances I wish I knew about sooner. Listen, if you've been into this thing for a while, like myself, then you know that there are a ton of fragrances out there on the market, and sometimes some can fly under the radar. There have been a lot that have flown under the radar for me, and I've been able to rediscover them or discover them and get them into my collection. However, I know that there are a large number of fragrances out there that I am not familiar with. As you know, sometimes you hit me up like, "Yo, B, what you think about this fragrance?" And I will kindly tell you, I have not had that fragrance, I've never smelled it, or I just don't have enough experience with it to give you a whole opinion. Therefore, I do not want to lie to you, so we just keep it moving. Now, the fragrances we're mentioning today are fragrances that I either have in my collection now or have had within my collection, and they really fit within this video today because one of them I'll need to recapture. Now, the first fragrance on this list today is a staple in a lot of people's collection if they had the opportunity to pick it up. Now, this one here has been discontinued for some time, and the company has decided to re-release this fragrance, but it's not quite the same, although the new one is good in my personal opinion. This fragrance comes from Paco, and it's none other than Paco Rabanne's Invictus Aqua. Now, Invictus Aqua is a 2016 release, but I didn't come across this fragrance until 2017. At that point, I was just getting into doing the fragrance reviews, and I hadn't had the opportunity to get my nose on this thing. In fact, I hadn't seen it at my local stores, and I only found out about this fragrance from someone within the comment section. They were like, "Yo, you should try this fragrance out. Tell us what your thoughts are on it." And I got more and more of those, and I decided, let me give this one a try. And I'm glad I did because this one is dope. Now, Invictus Aqua is this really nice, over the top, I won't call it over the top, but it's a more aquatic approach in terms of what you have with the original Invictus. And this one, obviously by the name, should have an aquatic type of feel, but this one really works well. It has an amped up yuzu note in the top, and a lot of it's just long lasting, powerful, nice fragrance with aquatic feel without being too sporty. Just a lot of good qualities about this fragrance all in all. And what I will say about this fragrance, about why I wanted to have this one in my collection earlier, or wish I knew about sooner, because obviously this one had a lot of hype around it, and I would have picked up an additional bottle or more if I knew that this thing would be discontinued or that the supply was drying up. So there you have it, 2016 Invictus Aqua. Now, this next fragrance on the list here is one that I actually did a review on not too long ago, and this one was a blind buy for me off of smelling another fragrance within this collection. Because of that fragrance and how much I enjoyed that fragrance, I said, I might as well dive in and give a few of them a try, and I've been going heavy on this house. And this fragrance that I'm talking about is Ani from Nishane. Now, if you know anything about this fragrance house, then they have been dropping bangers, and for how long, I don't know. Listen, man, I've never heard of this house until a few months ago. My man Dan over at Center Water shot this over to me, but aside from that, I've never really heard of this thing before. I mean, I've seen maybe it placed in a few lists, not this particular fragrance, but Hacivat was in a few different lists, and outside of that, it was like, yeah, that's cool, but I've never come across the fragrance, and I decided to go full out and start purchasing fragrances within this collection. This is another one that I think is extremely dope. I did a double up video in the past of fragrances I would double up on, and this one to me is double up worthy, and it's one that I wish I would have been able to enjoy for a long time. Now, I do have it in my collection now, and I will be able to enjoy it as the year progresses and for additional years to come, but this is a fragrance that I would have loved to experience down in Florida, and obviously I'll be able to spend some time with it here. But I think this one could have been a nice fragrance for that fall winter time in Florida, as I think this one is just a nice fragrance all in all. So Ani from Nishane makes the list today. Now this next fragrance on the list is going to be scented in the middle simply because I no longer have a bottle. Listen, I actually got rid of this fragrance in 2019 and I wish I would have smelled it before giving it away. And like, yo B, what are you talking about? How'd you give away a fragrance and not know what it smells like? So as you guys know, I do some partnerships with Saks Fifth Avenue and I had a bunch of fragrances that we were going to explore and give away. And this is one of the ones that I committed to giving away before actually smelling. And once I smelled it, I was like, damn, I should have kept it for myself. This fragrance was Amyris Homme from MFK, man. So if you know anything about that one, to me that one is a nice spring and summer fragrance from what I remember about it. And I actually included this within a Max Aroma bundle that I did for them as well, where I curated a group of fragrances for a specific month and I included that one in there. And that's when I smelled it again. I'm like, damn, I need this, man. So listen, I do not have a full bottle, but I do have a sample of it, and it's one that I need to go back out there and re-grab. Now, this one to me, I believe it was a newer release at that time. I'm not 100% certain on that. Don't quote me there, but it's definitely one that I wish I would have known about sooner before giving away, and now I need to recapture that thing and get it in my collection. So shout out to whoever won that fragrance. I think we did that one on Instagram, if I remember correctly. I think he won maybe, I think his name was Mike or something like that. So shout out to you if you're still watching, and congratulations on that bottle, because now I need to purchase one. But it's definitely one that I wish I would have discovered a bit sooner. Now this next one is one that I discovered online, but not in the way that you would think. So this fragrance is one that I discovered by way of looking up things online, unintentionally finding this fragrance, but I guess I had no choice but to find it. So here it is, man. So I was actually looking up Osme Perfumery down in Miami as we were planning to make a trip there for the meet and greet with Carlos. And I'm like, hey, you know, what does this place look like? I've never been there before, never really seen the place before, aside from Carlos doing a quick tour. And I was like, let me try it out. So as I was going through and looking up some videos of this place, I came across one video. I'm not sure who had it. I don't even think it was a reviewer. And it talked about a fragrance within this building that smelled like really sweet shaved ice cubes is what they explained it as. I'm like, hold up, I gotta try that thing out. Shaved ice cubes? And I got down there and the fragrance, I went to Maurice, the owner there, like, hey man, this is what I'm looking for. And he directed me into this fragrance, which is from the House of Imaginary Authors. And this one is, you know what this thing is right here, don't you? Oh, you should. This one is Saint Julep. Listen, this is an amazing scent. This one is a light, sweet, fresh fragrance that I think that you could wear. It definitely performs well in Florida. So if you are in a warm environment, someplace where you need something that's going to really perform in that hot temperature, this is definitely one that would work for you. Now, I do know sweet fragrances aren't everyone's thing, but for me, I really enjoy them. And this is one that it's sweet, but it's not overly sweet. In terms of that sweetness, aside from that, you also have this boozy type of vibe here, which is like a bourbon note in this fragrance. And I think that if you get your nose on this and spend some time with it, you will enjoy it for the most part. Now, what I will say about this one has garnered me compliments, and I wish I was able to explore this one a bit more, because I would have liked to have this one in my collection longer when I was in, you know, year-round hot weather. Obviously, I use this thing a lot, if you could tell. I've had this thing for probably just under a year, all right? I've been able to get through this thing a few times. Ton of compliments I've gotten with this one, and one that I do recommend a lot from the House of Imaginary Authors. I haven't smelled a ton of their fragrances, but the ones that I do have and the ones that I have smelled, I have been a fan of. So definitely ones that I recommend you try out, and hopefully you won't regret getting this one in your collection late. But if you haven't, get your nose on it. Imaginary Authors, Saint Julep. And then the fifth and final fragrance on this list today is one that I guess I get the name of this thing wrong. I haven't mentioned it a ton, but in the times that I have mentioned it, I believe one time somebody was like, yo, B, you feel like you're pronouncing it wrong. So I'm just gonna pronounce it the way I know it. This one is from Nishane as well, and this one is Hacivat. Now, if I'm pronouncing that wrong, you guys tell me out there. This is the one that Dan sent me. He sent me a small decant sample size of this thing along with some other roses out there. And this one here stood out head and shoulders above those fragrances. And again, this is really what sparked my interest in this house and I begin to dive into it. Now, what I do have to do is I have to get like a label printer, man, and send him some samples of the ones that I picked up. Just got to return that favor out there. I'm doing it. I'm going to do it, my guy. But I do need to definitely do that for him because he has shown love on a few of these. So this is one that I'm extremely happy with. And I guess long story short, this one does have an Invictus type of vibe. Although I don't feel like this one smells exactly like a Invictus. Otherwise, this is definitely one I would not say I wish I've known about earlier. But I feel like this was an excellent alternative to it. This obviously, in my opinion, this was definitely off of the Invictus DNA. I guess I could look and see which one came first, but I would imagine Invictus came first. And then this one here is kind of playing off that DNA, but just done in an entirely different way. It's masterful, and I think it's deserving to have both of these fragrances within your collection, whether it's Invictus or this one here. And obviously it has a lower price point on it as well, and one that I think a lot of you out there will enjoy as well, especially if you like that Invictus DNA. I think I wish I had this one in my collection first because I do not believe I would have picked up a Invictus cologne. Or maybe I just would have picked it up for the sake of having it within the collection as a reference point to talk to you guys about it. But I definitely would have picked this one up over that one. You know, I'm not here to argue. All right, so there you have it, man. Those are 5 fragrances that I wish I've known about sooner. What fragrances do you wish you've known about sooner? Well, I'll tell you one, all right, and that's the collection that I'm releasing. And more information to come on that. As always, I'm your boy, Big Beard Beater. Hit the like, comment, and subscribe. Tell a friend that we are back again. And you already know what I need you to do. Hit the goddamn bell.